Hi guys, welcome back to Team G Productions. My name is Tom and I'm joined by
Ian.
The wonderful Ian, who was one of our guests at Conflicts last year. And what are we playing today, mate?
We're playing some Walking Dead today.
Walking Dead, All Out War, and who are you bringing with you?
I'm bringing the Atlanta crew with me today, Rick, Shane, Dale and Carl.
So Ian's being the good guys, so that means I'm being the bad guys. I'm bringing the prison crew with me. And we're going to be playing a standard game up to 300 points. So without further ado, let's show you the crews. Alright then, and as we welcome Ian to the channel, these are the crews that we're going to be using today, and they are crews that we actually had a bit of a practice game with the other week, didn't we, mate?
We did.
I've discovered the prisoners as a crew, and they are great fun. So we've got a 300-point game here, normal rules, looking for supplies and that. My group are led by Dexter, who's quite hefty at the front here, 42 points. I've equipped him with a medical bag and a Mossberg 500 shotgun, which means he's rolling 3 red on his shooting, which isn't great, but it's not bad. More dice is always good.
Absolutely.
And I've also given him Interceptor body armor, which reduces damage he takes by a white dice. The best thing about him is his leader ability, which I don't really use often, but I really should. He can roll a white dice and give that many free actions to his team. He's joined with Axel, you can see at the front with his fists out. Axel is kind of like your main beater really, but actually for me he provides a really important role, which is to do with people's nerve. So I equip him with a katana, which gives him a blue dice and a white dice in combat, which is just solid really. But most importantly, he's got a police jacket, which allows him to give all of his fellow teammates a nerve higher that is 1 higher than everybody else. Now he doesn't benefit from it, but it basically means that Dexter and Thomas, who would normally be medium, go up to high, and more importantly, Andrew, who would be low, goes up to medium, and he actually makes them quite competent because of that. So he has to be within 6 inches of people to benefit, and you'll see him being the central probably of my group. Thomas at the back is an absolute nut job. He has got a keepsake just to dodge any headshots or add any that he needs. He's got body armor to reduce damage by 1. And most importantly, he's got a felling axe. And because he's got the stab rule, he is rolling 3 white dice in combat and re-rolling them, which is immensely powerful. Finally, we've got Andrew, who's my runner. He's equipped with gory clothing to try and keep him out of trouble with walkers. He's got a trank gun to try and shoot at a distance, giving him a white and a red on shooting. And importantly, he's got the nimble rule, which allows him to dodge out of combat with walkers if he doesn't like it, if his gory clothing has failed. And he's got a paper bag, which means that if he does panic, he can ignore it once. So when it does go up to high threat, he gets at least 1 turn if he's near Axel, where he can just dodge it. You've gone with the Atlanta group, so we've got 2 theme posses.
We have 2 very nice themes. They look nice on the board with them being a theme as well, particularly the orange of the prison guys there. So with the Atlanta, my group leader is going to be Rick, and I've chosen to go with the Atlanta Camp Leader version of that model.
Everybody's favourite Rick.
Well, absolutely. 50 points, really nice. I've increased his actual equipment quite a lot. He's got a leather jacket, which means he can discard all damage from a single round of melee, which can be important. He's got his own pistol, which is a whopping 28 points, but it's armour piercing and is a handgun, so he can fire it in combat. And it adds blue dice to his shooting, which makes him a really good shooter. And of course, for melee, he's been given a hatchet, which will be important for if he's engaging walkers. Just because I put a lot of effort into that gun, 28 points, though it'd be silly not to take ammo reload with him as well, in case it goes.
So you're not gambling on the supplies then?
No, just in case you never know what's going to come up. If you get a handful of lurkers, then you know that gun can be lost quite quickly. Going along with Rick, we've decided to take Carl.
Correct choice.
Absolutely, because Rick actually has a special rule as well that's blood ties, which increases his melee and defence if Carl's within his kill zone. So that is absolutely the correct thing to do. Carl, like on the model itself, is armed with a gun. We've chosen to arm him with a Beretta 82, which is a really good gun. It adds white dice to ranged attacks. And then also, of course, Carl, is wearing it on the model. He's gone with his lucky hat.
It's also the channel rules that you must have.
You've got to. It's so good. Hopefully we won't need it today, but you never know what's going to happen. So that's Carl. Then here we've got Dale, who's probably got the best gun that I've got on the board, which is the Springfield. It costs a whopping 30 points, but it does have a massive range of 30 inches, and it adds white and red to the shooting, so hopefully Dale will be able to pick off some prisoners from quite a distance away.
You've been clever and you've put defensive measures here as well with the crowbar.
Absolutely, yeah, so that gains the bludgeon keyword as well, which can be crucial if he gets into combat with survivors. And then finally, over here, similar paint scheme to Rick, we have got Shane Jealous Cop, version, that is, who is a bruiser. Again, he's been armed with a gun, which is the Smith & Wesson, which is handgun and reliable, and he's also, just like Rick, I've armed him with a leather jacket over a police jacket.
It's interesting that you've decided to give Dale the extra ammo reload as well, rather than Shane. Is that just because you want him to be a turret?
I really would like to see Dale try and pin back the prisoners, really. Whether or not that happens when the walkers are on the board might be a different story, but that would be a really good strategy.
So between Rick and Carl, Axel and his jacket, and Dexter, we've got a lot of synergies on the table. And I think these two theme posses should be really, really good. So we will go to the board layout and we'll catch you in a sec. Okay, this is how things look as we have set up the game, and yeah, this is a gorgeous board, mate, but it's clustered as hell, we're realising very quickly.
It really is.
So we've got 6 supply markers dotted around, 3 there and 3 there, you can see just with the kind of yellow underlay, and we're playing a standard game up to basically a threat tracker reaching 18 or us getting completely wiped out. So I got the activation priority, so I've deployed first. We've got Dexter just here. Then following up, we've got Axel, then Andrew, and then we've got Thomas right at the top, hoping to get stuck in. Plan is really to try and keep everyone near Axel to begin with, so they don't freak out, and maybe use Thomas and Dexter to kind of thin the horde until we get stuck in. How about you, mate?
Fab. Well, we've got 4 characters as well. We've got Dale here with a good gun, hoping to pick off walkers as they come nearby. We've got father and son, Rick and Carl, sticking close together for some bonuses. And over here we've got Shane as well, looking to try and get into some melee with him being a bruiser.
We've got this massive prison settlement dominating the middle of the battlefield. So actually it's going to be interesting with the lines of sight, trying to get a good shot lined up. So as we said, I'll be going first. So we'll go to the first activation for the naughty prisoners. Right then, for me, Axel is just going to make a sneak move. He's just going to move just behind this fence here, and he looks like he's actually punching it out of anger. He's like, I hate you, fence. And he's just going to stand there and make noise, which is just going to shamble this Ronnie Walker into him there for a bit of combat.
Okay, so for my first activation, we're going to start with the man himself, Rick, who is the group leader. He's going to run, might not run his full 8 inches, but he's going to run to here. That is going to create some noise and pull the nearest walker into melee with him.
Just free up that supply crate.
Absolutely.
Over to Thomas then, he's going to do something very similar. He's just going to make a move to here with a sneak, and then he's going to make noise, which will just pull this walker into combat with him. Hopefully he can beat its brains in afterwards.
Okay, for my second activation, I'm going to activate Carl. Now, I'll need to keep Carl close to Rick because that will give Rick a attack bonus in melee against this walker. So Carl has just snuck 4 inches, so he's within Rick's kill zone, so that Rick gets that bonus.
I like the idea of him being behind going, you can do it, Dad!
Come on, kill it! And he's not going to use his second action because we don't need to lower the threat because we're only on threat 1. So that is the end of Carl's activation.
Okay, so we're going to continue doing the groundwork for the next turn here. So Andrew is just simply going to sneak forward to this position here, making sure that he's near Axel and his inspiring police jacket, and just kind of stay there relatively protected. He's got his gory clothing on, so he doesn't really have to worry too much about the walkers nearby, as long as he doesn't make too much noise or cause too much ruckus.
Okay, so I'd like the idea of trying to keep the team close together at the moment. Because we've freed up the supply counter, Dale is going to run. He's not going to use his full run, he's just going to basically try and get into base contact with it. That, however, is going to cause some noise. So the nearest walker, which is probably this one, is going to shamble straight into Dale and engage him in melee.
You have an almighty punch up this turn.
We really do. We've got Rick and Dale already, and Shane's yet to activate, and he's the bruiser.
Dexter is going to follow suit with the almighty brawl that is starting. The prisoners are living up to their reputation. He's going to run to this position here, which will draw the attention of the walker that is on this marker, which means I've got 3 out of my 4 in combat this turn.
Okay, so my final activation for the turn is Shane. Shane is going to follow his comrades to here, and then he's going to deliberately make noise, which is just going to pull this walker straight into the very well-positioned tree.
Just going to wallop himself on the tree.
He certainly is.
Right, so that is all the activations for the first turn, so we will now go to the event phase. And this is how things look as we go into the event phase of the first turn. We've had a walker just move towards Andrew, but just stop because of his gory clothing. We've had the large walker by the tree just shuffle round to Shane. So what event card have we got, mate?
We have got +1 to the threat and Pandemonium. That takes us to 2 on the threat tracker. And because we're still in all quiet, each player rolls white dice and moves that many eligible walkers in a direction of their choice.
Okay, so we'll just roll here. I've managed to roll 1. I get to move 1 walker.
Lovely. And
You've got 2.
Yeah, there we go.
Fantastic. So what we'll do is we'll just move them and we'll cut back in a second. And we've moved our walkers. So I move my single one into Shane, just on the left-hand side there. How about you, mate?
These two have guys, one of them has gone into Dexter and the other one has started to go in that direction, but stopped because of the lamppost.
Excellent. So we are going to go on to combat now, so that'll add another 1 to the threat tracker, bringing us up to 3. So we're on the cusp of low threat. And with my activation priority, we'll go with the prisoners first. Right, we're going to start with my Bruiser boys then. Dexter is up first. He's being outnumbered by 2 walkers, so they're rolling 3 dice, mate.
Certainly are, and we are getting
1 successful hit. So Dexter has got a white and a red for his melee, so he's going to attack back. And he not bad. He's so strong, he knocks the barricade over.
Certainly did.
But he does kill both of these walkers, which is an impressive feat with his rage. So we'll go over to Axel. Axel is wielding a katana, and he's against 1 walker. So do you want to roll dice for that one, mate?
Absolutely.
You've got room there if you want. That walker rolls a solitary hit. Axel has got a blue dice for his katana and a white dice for his melee. So let's see how he does. He also double crits. And that's all my good dice rolling.
Yeah, that was insane dice rolling. 4 headshots on the bounce, can't argue.
We'll see how Thomas can do. Over to Thomas then, he's facing off against totally not Zombie Rick. We're preempting what might happen. So you got 1 red dice there, mate, for the walker.
And we get a 1.
Thomas has got a white dice base and then 2 for his felling axe, and he can re-roll them because they are sharp weapons. So, see how we do. He manages to get the headshot that he needs, so he will fell another. Well, these prisoners are good in combat.
They really are.
These guys can stay. We'll go over to the Atlanta lot and see how they do next. And we're going to go to the Atlanta crew now and see how they get on. So we're going to start with Dale, mate.
Absolutely. So Dale, probably the weakest in terms of melee of the team. Dale gets base red. He's got a a crowbar, but that's only going to benefit him against survivor groups. So he's only going to roll his base red against the walker, and in doing so, he gains a single hit.
And the walker rolls nothing. So you manage to knock that walker an inch away and prone.
There we go.
Not a bad start.
Nope, not bad at all. Take that.
Then.
Now Rick's really good actually in melee because he gets base white, which is really handy, but then he's got a hatchet which gives him an extra white dice, and then because of the special rule blood ties, with Carl Grimes being within the kill zone, he gets an extra red dice.
With his cheerleading.
Oh yeah, shouting, "Go on, Dad, go on!"
Right, so we're going for the walker, see what pathetic. Oh, it gets 2 and a bite. It's not bad.
So we get a 3.
3, so you win.
Yeah, but it's not back.
Push it an inch away and knocks it on its backside.
There we go.
And then finally we've got Shane, and Shane, being typical Shane, is going to be a pain.
He is, because he's armed himself with a Smith & Wesson, which is a handgun. So instead of relying on his base melee roll, he's going to try and fire that at one of the walkers to make life a little bit easier for him.
Which walker would you like to have a pop at?
He's going to have a go at the big guy, the one that initially attacked him, actually. Okay. So
I'll roll a defense for the walker. It manages to roll a single point on its defense.
Fantastic.
That was beautiful there. I roll it into his base. It's almost nominated there.
Beautiful.
But you're going to be shooting the living daylights here.
Absolutely. Now Shane has got base shoot of white and red, but then his weapon adds an extra red dice.
And if you get a headshot, you can then add a white to it.
And
not that you'll need it here.
And we get 3, so it's going to be laid prone.
So it successfully knocks it away and then lays it prone. This will cause mayhem, which will put us into low threat, so we're on level 4. We'll resolve it afterwards. We've pre-checked and no one else will come into combat here, so we'll move it afterwards.
Yeah.
So you've got a one-on-one fight now. You can only defend against this walker.
Absolutely.
Because you shot, so you've got a white and a red. The walker rolls a 1.
And Shane rolls a 1 as well.
So survivors win the draw. So we just separate them and we will go into the end phase.
Fantastic.
Okay, this is how things look at the end of the first turn, and that mayhem has put Shane in A tasty position, mate.
It really has, actually. He's got 3 walkers now in a line there right next to him, so that could be interesting for his activation.
We have resolved all of the prone walkers, and unfortunately for Ian's dice rolling, every single one.
Every single one, all of our hard work has actually just been undone there in one fell swoop, but status quo has resumed.
But I do have some good news for you. At least you do get the activation priority here.
Thank you very much.
So we will move towards turn 2, and we will start with the Atlanta group, see if they can fight their way out of this trouble.
Okay, so for the Atlanta crew's first activation, we're going to go with Dale here, who is handily right next to this supply counter. He's going to draw it, and in drawing it, he finds that he gets bandages, which is going to be very useful later on. So I'll pop those by the model. And then for Dale's second action, he's just going to engage this walker into melee.
Lovely. Nice and straightforward one for me. Dexter is just going to move around to this side of the supply so that he can have the walker engage him after this. He's going to search it, and he has managed to draw an arrow reload. So that's really useful with his shotgun. And he is just going to simply stand there. That's both of his actions all sorted.
So for Rick's activation, Rick is first of all going to use his leader ability, which is Stay Calm. In that, Rick can perform this action in place of Hold Your Nerve and reduce the threat by a blue dice roll. So in doing that, Rick gets a 2. I don't know if you can see that there.
Straight.
So Rick has managed to get us back down into all quiet, which could be important for the event phase. Rick's second activation is just going to be to engage the walker that he laid prone in the last melee phase.
Thomas is up next for me. He's going to continue to advance. He's just going to move to this position here, knocking everything on the way. He's going to search this supply counter, and he has managed to get himself an ammo reload as well. So I'm sure he'll appreciate that with his felling axe, just in case he needs to reload it.
Well, you never know.
We're due a bad one now, though, mate. This is not going to work out well. We'll go back to the Atlanta group.
Okay, so it is very clustered over here. So for Carl's activation, to make sure that this doesn't get any more clustered with walkers, he's going to use his first action to hold his nerve, and in doing so he's successful. So that takes us right back down to threat 1, which is really good. And for his second activation, he's going to make some progress towards this marker over here just by sneaking, but he doesn't fancy running because he'd like to do it incognito.
Right, Axel still wants to be kind of in the middle of everybody to kind of keep them calm, so he's going to make a sprint just to this position here, which will draw the attention of this fellow prisoner walker. One-on-one, let's put him here, so he's actually going to get absolutely jawed by Axel. But that's it for his activation, just a sprint to draw that one away and hopefully free up for Andrew.
Okay, so Carl's obviously been making his way towards the thing, but Shane is going to be keeping a close eye on him, looking over his shoulder, making sure no walkers come in and attack him.
You show Rick that he can be the better dad.
Basically, yeah, he's looking after him, so Shane is going to be keeping a very, very close and watchful eye on Carl by sneaking to there, which will obviously bring a walker in with the kill zones later, but for now, he feels pretty safe about that.
You're making your way through the middle really kind of well here, actually. I think even though it looked dire at the start of the turn, you've punched a decent hole through.
We have. If we can kill some walkers as well in the melee phase, things will look really good. But
there will be chaos when they get to the other side of the prison, though, and it's a free-for-all.
This is it, isn't it? This is it.
Super Sneaky Andrew then is up next. He's going to make a sneak just to move in contact with this marker here. He is going to search it, and he manages to draw... Oh yeah, we do one. A bear trap.
Ooh,
a bear
nasty.
trap. Bear trap. The searching survivor immediately takes 1 wound, which puts Andrew onto 3 HP. And then he rolls black and white dice. On a star, there's no further effect. On a blank, he screams and causes noise. So don't scream. Of course he screams. He screams and makes lots of noise.
Most people will scream.
Yeah, he's like, oh, God damn it.
Around your ankle.
So that'll draw the attention of this walker. We'll stop an inch away from him, though. It might not, actually, because of the masked sense. I believe I've got to roll a 50-50 to see if the masked scent works or not. So on a star, it'll stop. If not, it'll go into him. Hey, right. So he smells enough like a walker. The walker's like, what's that noise? That sounds like a human. No, it can't. It's like, like stealth games where like you make a noise and you hide around the corner. The guards 2 seconds later are just like, what was that?
Yeah, it's points well spent there though, to be able to avoid that kind of conflict really.
And that is our last activation of the turn. So we'll go to the event phase. Okay, onto the event phase for turn 2. You can see we've moved all the walkers in with their threat zones that are relevant. It's only Andrew really who dodges it because of his gory clothing, but we've got Dexter in combat. Shane again is taking 2 on. And yet again, we've got Rick and Dale facing off. So what have we got for the event card, mate?
So for the event card, we've got +1 to the threat and the hunger. So that takes us to threat level 2, but we're still all quiet. And lovely one, all quiet, the walkers suddenly stop and nothing else happens.
They just go all eerie for a second.
Do.
Okay, so we will go to the combat. We'll add +1 to the threat again, which knocks us back up to level 3. And we'll go with Ian's priority.
Okay, so for the first melee with the Atlanta group, we're going to activate Dale, and Dale is just base red, and so in rolling his melee, he gets a blank, which could be dangerous. Oh! That is dangerous.
2 and the bite.
Oh, that's ugly. That's very
Which
ugly.
puts Dale down to 2.
And the bite, that's particularly nasty.
That's a tasty one.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah,
Things can't get worse. Things can't get worse.
You say that. Go on then, Rick's go.
Come on, Rick. So Rick obviously gains a special rule from blood ties, also armed with a hatchet, and that's what we
That's
expect.
definitely a murder. The walker token
what
2
we
and a bite
wanted.
again, but
That's what we wanted. And he is dead. Now, Shane, to be honest, things like that make you want to keep your characters alive, so Shane is going to defend just to try and push those walkers away.
So white and red.
Yep, and he gets 2.
And the walker's rolling 3 dice because they're ganging up.
I said things couldn't get worse. Things can get worse.
5 with the bite,
Oh
so
my
that'll
goodness.
take 3 damage off Shane.
However, Shane does have a
leather
trick
jacket.
shot up his sleeve. He has a leather jacket, which means that he can discard, let me just read the rule properly, discard this card to ignore all damage from a single round of melee.
That's probably going to be needing what you need to do there.
Yeah, I think that is worth spending.
That was a hot roll for the
It
walkers.
really was. So Shane's going to spend that card and hopefully survive.
That's 10 points well used. So
It
we'll
is.
push Shane away and we'll go to the end phase. We'll go to the next combat, sorry. Right, I hope mine goes better than that.
I'd be surprised if it didn't, to be honest.
So Dexter's going one-on-one with a walker here. He has got a white and a red for his attack. He gets 3.
Wilt Walker rolls a 1.
So he manages to push it away and knock it on its backside. Axel, you can see just on the other side of the fence here. He's got his katana, which is blue, and a white for his melee. He manages to get 2, and you get 2 with the bite. So it's a draw, so the survivor wins the draw, but it's not knocked down. It's just a get away from me.
That's not too bad.
And yeah, well, the survivors win all draws.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's a knockdown if he pushes the walker away or if it's just
I think he stays up. I think.
We'll double check off the.
It's kind of a push away, isn't it? Go away from me.
Go away. But yeah, we will go over to the end phase then. And this is how things look at the end of that second turn. And that leather jacket was a clutch play there,
It
mate.
really was. It really was.
So we've managed, the prisoners have managed to advance further forward. We do need to just double check for this prone walker. I forgot to do that. Let's just have a quick look. It stands back up. So no walkers felled during this situation. However, yeah, you can see the prisoners have kind of cleared off their half of the battlefield.
Yep.
Yet the Atlanta crewmate,
Well, you know, things were going well until Dale got bit. So.
you just called him a ticking time bomb there.
He is a ticking time bomb, though, isn't he? Literally 2 wounds to go. You just don't know how long you're going to get out of the guy. So he might do some more radical things than he would have done normally, I think.
But we've checked the bite. He's okay at the moment. Hasn't quite set in the infection yet. But yeah, the priority will go over to the prisoners for this next turn, and we'll go to their first activation for turn 3. Okay, Thomas is going to start the first activation for me. He's quite worried that those people in the background there with the guns might be able to get a pot shot at him. So we're going to try and use the terrain to our advantage. So he is simply going to make a sprint just a millimetre away from this walker, which will pull everything under the sun. There we go. Which will pull him just in and yeah, keep him relatively safe with a bit of walker bait there.
Okay, so the Atlanta crew, we've only got 1 supply counter so far, but we've got a second one in our sights. So I'm going to activate Carl Grimes first of all. It will split up blood ties for this turn, but we want to get some supply counters. So Carl is going to sneak to here, and with it being sneaky, won't pull any walkers, and he's going to draw the supply, which in this case is bandages again for the second time.
Everybody's favourite.
Certainly is. Certainly
You
is.
can answer those to Dale. He's going to
Yeah, he will need them. In fact, Dale did draw bandages with our first counter, so that could be quite useful.
All right, go back to the prisoners. Right, so as you can see, we've got a little bit of a situation going here that we've got a very small gap between this fence and the prison, and I would rather like to get Andrew through it so we can start kind of moving forward, and Axel as well. So Axel, quite simply, is just going to make noise, which is going to pull this prison walker back into him. And we're hoping that he's going to be able to fell it with his katana this turn. And that now frees up a little space, should we need it, for Axel to make use, for Andrew to make use of. Hopefully a clever move. Famous last words. But again, we're just keeping Axel central so that his 6-inch police vest is keeping everyone's nerve okay.
Okay, so for our second activation, Dale is actually going to use the bandages that he's just found to take him back up to 3 health points, which could be important with his bite. Then his second activation is going to be to creep ahead of Rick and engage this walker.
That's a gutsy move of like, I'm going to heal myself, now I'm going to get stuck straight back into the walkers.
Yeah, basically, because you never know as well, he might get into a better position to shoot in the future, because where he is at the moment, he's not really got any suitable targets, so he does need to move somewhat before he can start firing at things.
No, I agree, that's a good move. Okay, the prisoners have smelled blood and they are going to go for it. So Dexter is going to try and shoot at Carl. Now he's got his Mossberg 500 shotgun. It's a 20-inch range weapon, but it is a shotgun, so I won't get the benefit of any headshots I roll because I need to be within 6. However, it is multiple shots, so I've got a red dice base plus 2 for the shotgun, and I'm rolling to shoot Carl. So Carl's got defense of 1 red, mate.
Yep, just a single.
Do you want to pop it there?
Absolutely.
See how you do.
Oh!
Nothing. Right, so see if Dexter can do any better. That is the headshot doesn't count, but the 4. That's 4 damage to him straight off the bat.
He's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone.
I don't even need the second shot.
He only has 4 wounds.
That is a kill straight away. Carl gets blasted off the face of the earth.
And he's just going to be replaced by a prone walker.
Yes, because unfortunately the headshot doesn't do anything. However, it will cause mayhem, which will push us up to low threat as we go into level 4, and it will gain the attention of all these walkers. This one here will shamble into this fence, which is probably not great for Axel. This one here will bash into this barricade. This one here will go into him, and Johnny Rotten will gain the attention and bash into the barricade too. Just outside of range of these, over here. Pretty decent shot. I'll take that, mate. You've got your lucky hat though. Yeah.
I'd forgotten about this until I just looked at Carl's thing.
Do you want to roll it?
He gets a single black dice, which can take him back to one health point.
Yep.
So let's see
how. Just on here, am I going to get screwed by the lucky hat now? So you need a shield here, don't you?
We want a shield. We desperately want a shield. And we get one. Shield. We actually get one.
Right, so Carl needs to come back for a second.
He does, thank goodness for that.
However, we're going to go with our second shot then, because it's multiple shots.
Temporary. This could be temporary.
So the mayhem happens after both shots. I'm going to roll again. So 1, you've got your defense roll.
So it does. Oh, he's gone anyway. He's gone anyway.
Right, so you know you get to roll your lucky hat again.
I do. This is okay.
Die, Carl. Oh!
And there he goes,
I've
Carl.
been screwed by my...
Carl is living on.
Oh, Carl, you suck. He stands there with his bulletproof hat.
He does. It's no wonder he only has one eye by the time he's been shot at that many times.
Disappointed. A bloody child with his bloody cowboy hat.
Well, Rick's just seen that his son's got shot at multiple times, and he's going to think to himself, well, I need to get over there now and protect my son.
Every battle report we've ever done, there's that black dice to screw somebody. It's usually I'm on the benefiting side.
Carl is amazing, isn't he? He is amazing. Rick is going to run, like so, to get next to his son and say, Carl, are you okay? Are you okay? That's going to cause noise, which is going to pull the nearest walker to him, which is probably this one.
This one's the tree, yeah.
And in doing so, it's just going to creep after Rick and engage him.
Right, let me explain the tricky situation that I'm faced with here. If Andrew goes forward and shoots with his trank gun, with Ian having activation priority next turn, it means that he just gets blasted by Rick and Carl. Now, I think this still might happen, but in this scenario, hopefully a walker might be in the way. So Andrew's just going to move to this position here with a sneak, and he's going to shoot his trank gun at Carl. And you can see there's a line of sight, middle to middle, we think we've got there. I need to put one of those laser pointer things. So he's got a white dice for shooting normally, and he adds a red. But any headshots don't cause headshots, but they cause ammo rolls as normal. You can roll your defense there, mate, if you want.
Fantastic. So we get a 1.
1, and Andrew, gets 3.
Nasty.
So it's 2 points of damage. Do you want to roll your lucky hat now, just in case?
To be fair, this hat's been shot at twice already now. And it lives on to fight another day.
God damn it. However, with the stun rule on the tranquilizer gun, it does floor Carl, which makes him a tasty target, hopefully,
so it does.
for some walkers. And that'll do for me.
Okay, so for my final activation with the Atlanta group, I'm going to activate Shane. Now at the moment we've got one walker in this entire area and it'd be quite nice to clear it out. So Shane is just going to creep into combat here to help Rick out, and between the two police officers they should be able to get rid of him, I hope.
Lovely, so that will bring us to the end of the turn and we will go to the event phase. Okay, this is how things look at the event phase of the third turn. You can see we've moved everybody into combat. Axel's fighting 2 walkers, Dexter's got 1, Thomas has got 1 just around the corner. Shane, unfortunately, has been dragged away from him helping Rick. He was on the very edge of the attack zone, so we've split that combat preemptively. What event card have we got, mate?
So, drawing the event card, we are getting Frayed Nerves, and because we're on number 4 in low threat, one model with low nerve chosen by the player with initiative creates noise, but if there are no eligible models, we would add 1 to the threat level.
Now that would be Andrew, but because he's near Axel in his police jacket, there are no eligible characters, so we just add 1 to the threat level, mate. So
which
up to
puts
5.
us into 5, yeah.
We have got combat coming up, so that will put us up into 6.
There we go.
And I've got the initiative, so I will take the lead here. Right then, leading the combat, Dexter is going to go first. He has got no particular weapons, but he's got white and red for his combat, just on the left-hand side here. He rolls 1.
And the walker rolls 1 as well.
Oh, so it's a draw, and the walker is pushed an inch away after hearing that massive shotgun noise. Axel is facing off against 2 walkers. That'll be 3 dice rolling against him.
Certainly is.
However, he has got his katana, so he's rolling a white and a blue.
Ooh, we get 2, 4 and a bite.
So 4 and a bite, I've managed to get 4, so it is
a draw.
So these walkers will both be pushed an inch away. Doing all right, actually. I quite like the idea of the walkers being bullet sponges for me.
Oh, yes.
Thomas, though, should murderize this. He's got 3 white dice going against this walker. It's all kinds of death.
Beating that.
So he manages to eliminate that walker
Fantastic.
from presence. And that will be the end of my round of combat. We'll go to the Atlanta lot.
Okay, so we're going to start off with Dale. He's been fighting this war. He's changed walkers actually this time. He was here before. He's moved around to get a better position.
He's got the same jacket as Dale actually.
He has. He wants the jacket.
Wars.
He wants it. So Dale, with his base red, is rolling a blank, but he's already bitten anyway.
And the walker rolls 1, so that's another
Takes
point
a
of damage.
wound.
Puts him back down to 2.
Does. But the bandages helped a little bit there.
Kept him alive for another turn, probably.
It did if nothing else. Shane is just going to roll his melee. This time he's not going to bother shooting because it could cause all sorts of havoc. He's fighting that big walker there and he rolls a 1.
And the walker, nothing. So
Fantastic.
that is pushed an inch away.
And laid prone.
And then you've got Rick.
Rick's amazing. So Rick, because he's back up with his son, he gets the blood tie special rule.
Even though his son's on his backside, he should have died 3 times.
He is, but you know, he's still alive and still breathing at this stage is quite something for Carl, really. Rick, that's pretty good.
Well dead. The walker does nothing. So
sweet.
Destroyed. And that is another turn done. Another interesting scenario now. We're seeing some real clearances in the middle of the battlefield.
We are. This area here, I think it's slightly off camera, but this is really clear. Here it is. So, yeah.
We'll go to the end phase and see how we get on. We just said off camera there that Ian's doing very well with his black and white rolls. He's just survived another one with Dale, so Dale holds on 2 HP for now.
Certainly does.
Carl's still on his backside, probably not the position he wants to be in. And the prisoner's getting actually stodged by the walkers a little bit. I don't like this scenario here with Dexter, because I'm probably going to need to fire my gun again. That's potentially a very, very bad time in a second.
It could.
However, though, no walkers in terms of issues. We just had the one that's just stood back up over there. How are you feeling with this, mate?
I'm feeling pretty good. Certainly better than we were after Dale first got bit. I thought things could go quite wrong with her, but you know, we're holding our own.
I think this turn will be the one where you see the survivors get stuck into each other, and I think it'll be very interesting to see how this goes. So I'm going to hand activation priority over to you, mate.
Thank you very much.
And we will go with the Atlanta crew to start the 4th turn.
Okay, so for the first activation for the Atlanta group, we're going to go with Dale. Dale is going to sneak to here, which gives him a first sight of a prisoner, and he is going to fire his Springfield.
Poor Thomas.
I know, it's a shame for him, it's a shame, but you know, Carl's been shot at numerous times already today, so...
Carl's indestructible though.
He is, he absolutely is. Dale is base shooting of a white dice, but then he gains red and white as well, because he's armed with a Springfield, which is a really nice weapon. So, let's see what he gets. He gets 4 with a headshot.
Thomas has got a red dice for his defence. He manages to get 1. I'm also going to use his keepsake to remove the headshot from your roll.
Fair enough. Do I still do an ammo reload with that?
I cannot recall. I think I just remove it, so we'll say no for now. So that'll take that away, but you still get the 4, so you do
Yep.
3 damage to me. However, because of my body armour, I reduce damage taken by 1.
good.
So I go down to 2 HP there.
Very nice.
However, that does cause mayhem, mate.
It does, which is going to pull quite a few walkers.
So the threat will go up by 1, which takes us to level 7, we believe.
Now, if we look at the
It's
10,
going to get a lot of attention.
it is.
Walkers.
So this one's nice, easy to resolve.
This one will bash into here.
Yep. Then
That one will shamble
Yep.
straight in, I think.
easily, and then this
Big guy
one.
here.
Yep. So do you want to just do this one while it's there?
Yep.
You go straight in. The big guy, I'll probably have to measure. Might reach him, might not do.
There's a Walker phone in the background there as
I
well.
know.
That's a shamble here. So this one
Yeah, it's going to
will
reach.
be able to. So we'll just move these around because I think they just move out the way of each other, don't they?
Yeah.
As I take the tree with me.
Perfect. Poor Dale. But, you know, he's got a shot away, which is something.
There are also some walkers on the other side, but we'll move them around in a second.
yeah, there is actually.
Decent 2 damage done there then, mate.
Not bad.
Over to Thomas then. He is very dissatisfied with being shot at, so he's going to join in the combat here. He is psychotic as well, which means he kind of wants to get stuck in.
Oh, yeah.
And that'll do for me.
Okay, so Rick, you know, his son's been shot at and he doesn't like that fact, so...
He doesn't appreciate
He
his
really
child
doesn't
being shot.
appreciate it. I mean, Carl is still alive, but he'll want to seek revenge for him.
By the grace of that hat.
And exactly, so he's going to creep to here to give him a nice clear line of sight, and then his shooting should be quite effective because he's base blue anyway, being the Atlanta camp leader, but Rick's pistol is actually blue dice as well. So we get 2 blue, taking a shot, and we
Dexter.
get 4.
Dexter's got a white dice for his defense. He rolls a 1. So that would be 3 damage. However, he has got interceptor body armor, which means he rolls a white dice and reduces it. So we've got 3 damage we were trying to reduce here.
Yeah.
He reduced it by another 1. So he takes 2, which puts him from 7 down to 5.
Still very healthy there, though.
That does create mayhem, mate.
It certainly does, and it's
Which
going to
pops
cause
us
a
up
lot.
to level 8 in terms of our threat. So, let's start with the immediate ones. This guy will walk in
Nice,
here.
easy one
I'm
to
going to move
resolve.
him round because this lady's also going to walk in.
Ooh, here she comes.
This one will shamble.
Yeah.
This one will shamble.
Here
So
we
I think
go, here it
again,
goes.
we've got to do a little bit of...
I think Rick will be alright. I've just got a feeling.
This walker will bash in here.
Yeah.
That one's out of it. She will shimmy round, but I believe she'll hit
Yeah.
that.
Makes sense.
I think there are some more behind. So this guy here,
Yeah, I'll get the
just
walk.
off camera,
We've
there's
got
a shamble there. He'll make a walk.
Ooh.
Very close. And then there's some just behind. That's quite...
It certainly is.
That's quite a gutsy move.
It
there.
was a gutsy move, but we've taken 2 wounds, so you know it's a start, isn't it?
It's not bad at all. I'm going to really just... I don't even know what to do here. I don't know what to see. Just
That has
really
changed the landscape of the board massively, actually. I'm definitely going to be trying to use Rick and Carl and Shane to try and help Rick out a little bit there, but it has changed the landscape a lot.
Oh dear. So the frustrating thing about this is that Rick's got a leather jacket, so actually he
He
can
does.
just ignore the damage that he's going to get from this. So we're going to try and do, I think we can do this. Andrew's going to move here, and this counts as just a cluster of combat. So he's going to attempt to shoot his trank gun into that combat at Rick to floor him so he can only defend. So I need to roll a 50-50 dice to see if it hits. If I fail, then Ian can choose it to not hit Rick and hit Walker. So I need a star here, which I get.
Lovely.
So I'll be rolling my white dice and red dice against your defense. Now you've got Carl in your kill zone, so you're probably all right actually.
Oh yeah, because we can add red to it. I forgot about blood ties.
So let's see what I get. I get 2 as a success there. And you roll.
sorry, face is going.
It keeps falling over. You're fine anyway.
Laughing.
Nothing. I was hoping to knock him down, but it makes no odds. But that will do for Andrew's go, I think.
Okay, so the Atlanta group, we're going to activate Carl, who is currently tranquilised. So it's going to cost him an action, first of all, to essentially stand up.
He's doped off his face.
Certainly is, and he's staggering about all over the place. But he's now got up and he's on his feet, and so then now he's just essentially going to run. Actually, is he going to run? Yeah, he's going to run, but he's not going to run his full distance. He's just going to run to around here, which should pull this walk in a straight line. So, in a straight line after him to there.
It frees up a bit of space for...
It does. That's my intention, to be honest, to clear up this bit here so that Shane can have a shot at Dexter in Shane's activation, unless, of course, Dexter, gets out of the way before then.
Right,
Which he may do.
we'll see what he does next. Right, Dexter's going to start the firefight there, but this is going to be a very tricky shot. He's going to move to this position here, not in base contact with the cover, but very close to it. He's going to try and train a shot to Shane, just over there. So Shane will get red dice for his cover.
Excellent.
Dexter's got a red for his shooting against 2 for his shotgun. It is multiple shots, so hopefully we'll do well. So you've got what for your defence, mate?
Well, Shane's got a good defence anyway. He's got white and red, and then obviously we're gaining the red cover.
So you're actually rolling better dice than me here,
it's not
so
bad, really.
we're hoping for some good luck. So that is 4 with a headshot.
And we
4. So the headshot only applies once you win the combat, so there's nothing there. It will cause mayhem, but we'll resolve that in a second. We'll go for the second shot. That's 4 again.
That's 5 for us.
Oh, terrible. So I'll check my ammo, actually, because I've got headshots. Fine. Threat goes up by 1 because it causes mayhem.
Takes us to medium threat for the first
Medium
time.
threat now. So this walker will immediately be very interesting. We've got 1 just off camera to the left that will bash in, and this little lady here will go in a straight line and bash there. I think they're the only eligible ones that are nearby. So we'll go back to the Atlanta group and see if Shane can shoot back.
Okay, so we're going to activate Shane, who's just been shot at, and he'll want to return that fire.
I like he just had 2 shotgun bullets and just like, meh.
I know, exactly. He's not bad, is he? He's not bad. Now he's going to creep to here to get himself behind some cover, which is nice. But now he's going to shoot at Dexter, who's going to gain the hard cover. Now Shane's shooting because he's got a Smith & Wesson. He adds a red dice to his base of red and white. But if he gets any criticals, headshots, he will add an extra white dice, which will be
He's
brilliant.
very good at shooting.
He certainly is. So his initial shot is just 2.
Dexter's got a white dice for his defence, and he gains another 1 because of the cover, as you said. So, he smashes
fine.
it.
But that's going to cause mayhem.
That puts us up to level 10 in the medium.
It's creeping up.
So this walker, I believe, will just shamble into the supply counter there.
There he goes.
This walker, do you want to just put a shamble and check if it can? I think it will get into the...
Yes, it's just going to hit that, isn't it?
So, dunk there. However, they will be in combat with each other, won't they? Because it's engaged.
Kill zones.
There is a walker just off camera that is just going to basically shamble along a little bit. And that's it. Most of the walkers tied up at the moment.
They are. We've got little clusters going on the over here as well.
Threat tracker is getting up very quickly, so we'll see what Axel can do next. Really simple one for me. Axel is within 6 inches of his mate. Thomas is the only one that's out, so he's keeping them all relatively chill. All he's going to do is just try and see if he can lower the threat, hold his nerve. He fails to do that. But he's relatively happy. He's just going to see what happens with Rick, really. I think that's
what we all want to see what happens, really.
So that is, I believe, the last activation, mate. So we will go to the event phase.
Absolutely.
Next. And this is how things look at the end of the turn. And Carl has got himself engaged with a walker, and Shane has also got himself engaged, apart from that massive rook with Rick and the one with Dale behind. So, event card, mate.
Okay, here we go. So, drawing the event card, we get +1 to the threat, which takes us to 11. And there is a storm coming, and low to medium threat. The tension reaches fever pitch, add 1 to the threat, which takes us to 12.
It's getting up very quickly now.
And then, this is the killer, immediately draw 2 more event cards, applying the results 1 at a time.
Oh dear, okay.
This could be a game changer.
First one then.
So, first one that comes up is Feeding Frenzy. And we're on medium threat, but we start off with as in low threat. So we roll a black dice for each survivor engaged in melee against 1 or more walkers, and on a star, the model loses 1 health point. So
okay, do you want me to roll these?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so Dexter, so I need a star to...
Star will lose the health point.
Okay, so I'm looking for a blank. Right, so Dexter takes a point of damage, and you can't use his armour to help that. These guys are fine, and Thomas is not technically engaged with a walker. Do you want to crawl here, mate?
Yeah.
So Shane.
So Shane, come on, let's get a blank. No,
Shane takes a point of damage.
That's Shane's first point of damage.
So that puts him on 5.
Certainly does.
Rick.
Then Rick, come on, Rick. Rick is good.
Is okay. He's going to need
I
that.
think he's good. Yeah, he's definitely going to need it.
Carl.
And then Carl
is fine as well.
Fine as well.
And then you've got
and then
Dale.
Is fine.
So it's only Shane who takes the point of damage.
That could have been worse, to be fair.
Any threat going up?
Well, no more threat goes up there, but then because we're in medium threat, in addition, Each player rolls blue dice and moves that many eligible walkers towards the nearest survivor.
Well, there's only 2 eligible walkers on the table, and the minimum you can roll on a blue dice is 1.
Yeah.
So you've got initiative. Do you want to move one first?
It's got to go towards the nearest
There's one
survivor.
behind a tree up here, and there's this guy up here.
Just after the shamble token. So towards the nearest survivor, because it's already in contact with the tree, probably put that engaging there. Like
So we have got one who's actually just gone on the back to engage Thomas, which is very interesting.
It is.
Easy one for me. It's going to shamble its way around
and into
engage Shane there.
Fantastic.
But yeah, we have another card.
It certainly
still.
do, because there's a storm coming as a killer, and then feeding frenzy. So it starts off because we're medium, as in low threat, which would be oh no, it's the herd. That's what we just had. The herd. So as above, which is the player with initiative chooses a walker and moves it in the direction of their choice.
No one's eligible.
Walkers. All eligible walkers within 8 inches would also move. And then, as above, all prone walkers stand up. And are there any?
There are none.
There we go. Not too painful.
That's not bad. But it has changed things with the combat with Dale.
It has.
We have got combat, so we go +1 again to the threat, mate, which puts us on
13.
the very cusp of going into high threat, which is where things will get very interesting.
It will.
So Ian's got priority, so we'll go to his combat choices first. So we're going to start with Thomas and Dale there and what's going on. So we'll start with Thomas. He's rolling 3 white dice.
Yep, against single walker. Just gets a blank.
He can re-roll his dice if he doesn't like them, so I'm actually going to re-roll them because they're sharp with an axe. Still doesn't get the kill.
Never mind.
But he does
hard
push this walker away and he does manage to knock it prone.
Fab. So Dale has got a single red dice for his melee, which is going to be quite the ask against.
I've just rolled a bite off camera there, but it does not count.
So Dale is against these guys. Bear in mind he's already bitten and he's only got 2 health left. So let's see what he can do.
Best of luck.
He rolls a blank.
He rolls a blank.
Looking good.
The walkers then. I've got 5 dice because they are ganging up and they managed to roll.
I think
he's
Dale has got
bitten to death.
He certainly is. He's got.
So he will become a prone walker.
Certainly will.
I'll just grab one. Sorry if the camera shakes. Reach either over the table. A prone walker will appear here, and also he will explode like a pinata and drop his supply token, won't he?
Which was this one.
So path of least resistance. I think it'll probably land about there, mate.
Easy enough.
But yeah, that's not bad at all.
No.
But Thomas is now going to need to get the hell away from all of that.
Oh, we could try and grab those supplies, to be fair.
He could, but no, run away.
Okay, so we're going to start off with Shane here, who's facing 2 walkers. Now, because he's got a gun and he's a really good shot, Shane is actually going to shoot at the walkers to try and take one of them down.
Which walker would you like to blast at?
He's going to blast at this one that's between him and the supply. Okay. So, in doing so, Shane gets 4, which isn't bad.
She rolls nothing, so she is pushed away an inch,
Yep.
I believe, and knocked prone. It will cause mayhem, which puts the threat up, so we are now into high threat.
Certainly are for the first time.
Oh dear.
It's crept up, that really has.
Quickly. Then you've got your combat with the 1 walker.
Yeah, but we have to defend. But the defend isn't bad for Shane, it's white and red. So in doing so, we get a 2.
2. And the walker can't beat it, so
Lovely.
nothing. So
It's just pushed back.
Pushed back. Not knocked down though, because she defended.
Excellent. So then we go to Carl. Carl again is armed with a Beretta 82, so he's going to chance his arm with that and shoot at the walker in front of him, the one nearest his dad. And in shooting, he gains a headshot, which could kill it.
It does kill it. So he manages to blast this one away. Again, it causes mayhem, so it puts the threat up again.
It does. We're getting dangerously high now. Carl's going to have to do an ammo reload because he rolled a headshot and it is fast.
Fine, that's just there.
That is good news.
So he's got combat 1-on-1 with a walker now.
Yeah, and he's got to defend, which is a single red dice, and it's 2.
And nothing, so he pushes the walker away.
Well done, Carl.
Rick.
Right, well, Rick's only chance really is to try and shoot walkers, I think. So Rick is going to take a shot with Rick's pistol, which is really good because it gives him an extra blue dice.
Which one would you like to shoot at?
We are going to shoot at, I think we'll shoot at Johnny Rotten.
Johnny Rotten, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So blast away.
So blasting away, we get 3.
3, walker can't beat that.
Yeah.
So, but it is just knocked down.
Yep.
So we'll put a pro marker there.
Fab.
He's then defending against 3 walkers who are rolling 5 dice.
Single white dice for Rick.
He rolls a 1, and the walkers roll 4. So that's 3 points of damage unless you want to use your leather jacket.
We are definitely expending the leather jacket to try and discard all of that damage because we don't want to take that many wounds on Rick. So leather jacket is going to be used there to protect him.
So he would be pushed away from the walkers
fantastic.
there. And then finally we have got Dexter. Dexter is rolling a white and a red in melee against this walker just down here.
The walker's getting a 1.
And Dexter kills it.
Fantastic.
Blasts it to pieces. And that is a hell of a combat
It
there.
really
That
was.
is
It really was.
some severe damage. So we will go to the end phase and see if the walkers stand back up. And this is probably going to have to be the final turn now, I think, going into this.
Yeah, it is on threat 15.
That's how things look at the end of the 4th turn, I believe. We've had poor Dale got thoroughly munched.
He's not with us anymore.
He's left Thomas in a very, very nasty position around the back of the board. We've checked for prone walkers. Prone Dale stood up, everyone else stayed lying down. And we, like I said, probably going on to this final turn now. So I think the prisoners really haven't advanced this turn. Because of Rick just pulling in all those walkers, it was a case of, let's stand and watch. However, I will have priority this turn. Thank you very much, my dear. Any plans for you this turn?
I've absolutely no idea other than I want to get these guys back together, because having them separate weakens them, so it would be much better to have them close by whatever they choose to do.
So you've currently got 1 supply counter.
Yep.
I'm on 3. So it's a case of hopefully staying alive, and I think Axel's jacket here is going to be paying for itself because high threat. I'm going to get at least 1 freak out this turn.
Yep.
So we'll go to the prisoners and see what they do first. Right, you ready for this, mate?
I know, this is gonna be bad.
I'm going to try and take 3 activations away from you in one move, which is exactly how we treat guests on the channel. I apologise.
It's a mastermind move.
You say that, watch it all go wrong. So Derek, not Derek, I keep calling Derek, I'm so used to Derek with the shotgun, with the gun. Dexter is going to sprint into base contact with this cover here, knocking the prison over. That will make noise, and the nearest walker to him is this one, which thank God for Johnny Rotten being knocked down.
Yep.
Helps us out.
Certainly does.
He's then going to lean over the barricade to stop Rick from getting any bonus from it, and he's going to try and shotgun blast him in the face.
Here we go.
So, because we are within 6 inches, my headshots now actually matter, which is good. So, 3 red dice.
Against Rick's solitary white.
Oh, 1.
Oh, okay.
So that is nothing, but it is multiple shots. So we fire a second time. See if we can do better this time. Come on, roll better. That is 3 with a headshot.
It takes,
So that will be 2 points. 3 points of damage there to Rick. So that knocks him down to.
Knocks him down to 3 wounds.
3 wounds. I've got to check for my ammo. I run out of ammo at that stage, which is rubbish. But I've got my ammo refill if I need it, and mayhem is caused. So
And that's going to be the interesting
we
part.
go up to 16.
Yep.
Right then. Walkers who suddenly have to pay attention are all these ones around here that we've measured. So yeah. So this walker that's next to Shane will shamble into Shane.
There he goes.
This prison walker will go into Rick. This one will also go into Rick.
Poor Rick.
This one will shamble round because it's in cover, so Dexter won't get off scot-free. And also importantly, this one at the back will then shamble into Carl going towards the noise. So there aren't any walkers, I believe, on the other side of the ruins that will be able to walk around. I think maybe 1 or 2, but we'll measure them off camera in a second. However, that is a really, really solid one.
That was mastermind, absolute mastermind, because now, literally, every Atlanta leader is
That's all your activation's gone.
I know.
And I got very lucky that I was just within 6 inches of Axel so that Dexter didn't panic because of the police jackets. So we'll go back to me, I guess.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're going to attempt to do all of my activations in one go here, seeing as I've nicked it. So, Andrew, first of all, needs to roll a panic dice, because even though he's next to Axel, that only brings his nerve up to medium. So, he rolls flee. I am going to use my paper bag that I've equipped him with to ignore the effects of that panic dice. He's just going to very quickly be like... and breathe in.
Hyperventilate.
However, so he can act as normally for this turn because he doesn't have that effect. He's going to attempt to take an aimed shot at Rick with his rifle. Now I need to roll my 50-50 to see if I hit. So on a shield I do hit Rick. So
here we go.
I've got a white dice for shooting, a red for my tranquilizer gun, and a red because I aimed. He's a runner rather than a marksman, so I don't get the white. So I get 2 with a headshot, and you managed to get 0.
Oh no!
That is 2 damage to you, mate.
So Rick's actually down now to 1 health, which is a precarious position.
The headshot doesn't cause damage because it's a trank gun. However, it does stun you, so it puts Rick prone. So I'm just going to hand you that prone marker.
In combat with 2 walkers is a...
It's pretty tasty.
It is.
I am going to then roll my 50-50 for my ammo. I'm okay for my ammo. So that's his action. Axel's up next. Now, Axel has got a medium nerve, but he doesn't benefit from his own jacket. So he does have to roll a panic dice as normal. So Axel gets a or whatever that is, a quiet. Only perform 1 action this turn. It can't cause noise or mayhem, which is a bit of a problem because I really wanted to cause a noise. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to be quite clever here, he says. I'm going to move here so that the jacket aura is now around Thomas. So then we'll go to Thomas's activation. Thomas won't freak out now because his medium nerve goes up to high. And all Thomas is going to do, he's going to sneak to this token and just pick it up. So he won't need to go and see what the supplies is because it's just down once from there.
It had been bandages previously.
Yeah, and he will pick that up for himself. That's it for the activations of this turn. So we will go to the kill zones and then the event phase.
Poor Carl.
Poor Carl.
Poor Carl.
And this is how things look as we go into what is definitely going to be the final turn. There has been another walker or 2 that have gone into Thomas. Rick is now absolutely surrounded by walkers. And he's on his backside, so he can only defend. I think he's looking at his last days there.
Last day on Earth.
Shane, Carl, Dexter, they are all in bad times, really. And we draw our event card just to see if it can be any better,
Certainly do. So, the event card that we are getting is +1 to the threat, which takes us to
17. That guarantees the end of the game because we have combat in a second.
We certainly do. Each player roll... Oh, no. Players move all eligible walkers in a direction of their choice, and then 2 blue dice walkers enter play.
We've only got 1 eligible walker left on the table, and I've got priority. So I think the one that's just behind the tower make, you move that into Carl for me, please.
Here he goes.
There we go.
Carl.
And then we roll 2 blue dice worth of walkers. Do you want to roll this one, mate?
Go for it.
You got space there if you want to roll.
Here we go. And we're getting walking
5 walkers into play. So we will put them on the table and cut back in a second. Yeah, do you want to say that again for the camera, mate?
Here we go.
The walkers are what?
The walkers are about... Oh, I forgot what I said. The walkers can sense the imminent feast that's about to become this battlefield.
Yeah, I think the baying blood there is going to be horrendous. So we've just had 2 pop on at the bottom, 3 over there. They are incidental in this stage. The threat tracker will go up by 1 because we are in combat.
And that is 18.
Which brings us to the end. This will be the final turn. We are currently looking at 4 supply tokens for me.
Versus 1.
1 on your side, mate. But we could have some explosions of pain. So we'll go to the combat and we're going to start off with Thomas. Right, Thomas is going to lead the way. He has got 3 white dice, which he can re-roll because of his desire to stab things, because he's a nut job against 1 walker. He murders it to
he does.
death.
Although the walker got 2.
The walker tried, but he absolutely eviscerates that one. Do you want to do Carl while we're here, mate?
Absolutely. Well, Carl's got nothing to lose, so he's going to take a shot with his Beretta at this walker, and with his shooting, he gets 1.
And the walker gets 2. The walker doesn't care.
No, it doesn't care at all.
So the walker's now going to roll against him. They've got 3 dice.
Yep, Carl's defence is base red.
You roll 1, and the walkers get 2. So he takes a point of damage.
Takes a point of damage, which will kill him, other than his lucky hat.
Come on, die, for God's sake.
No!
Yes!
He's gone.
The victory, that's the moral victory. That's the bonus prize, that is. God damn. Right.
There he goes, poor Carl.
I'd like to take a moment to just apologise to Paul on camera, who always has to deal with that lucky hat. I now feel the pain. So we're going to bounce to the other side of the battlefield and see how we round off there. Okay, so Carl has just exploded into confetti and dropped his supply token there as well. So let's go with Dexter to start with, mate.
Okay.
So Dexter's got a white and a red for his melee. He manages to roll 2.
And the walker gets a 1.
So pushes it away, knocks it prone. You got a marker there, mate. Let's go with Shane.
Shane is going to shoot. Got absolutely nothing.
All or nothing at this stage.
And it really is, isn't it? It really is. In his shooting, he gets 3.
And the walker can't beat that. So just push back and not prone, which gets the combat away there. Rick then can only defend, and if he sustains any damage, he's gone, isn't he? He's on 1 HP.
1 health. He gets a 1.
He rolls a really solid 1.
I was going to say that's not going to do it. Wow.
What?
At least Rick survived to live another day.
Rick survived somehow from that, and the walkers don't eat his flesh.
Wow. That's committed to
That
living.
is ridiculous. However, that does bring us to the end of the game. That is 4 supplies to 0, mate. We'll go for the handshake
Well
on camera.
played.
Congratulations.
Very good game.
And we'll go to the post-game summary. That escalated quickly.
It did, it really
Did
did.
we even see medium threat?
I'm not sure we did because it just seemed there was a couple of guns that got shot and then all of a sudden we were in high threat and we're like, well, the game's going to end in the next turn.
I like early on you were like kind of managing it, and then it was like,
Yeah.
nah, it's gone.
Yeah, I think I managed to get it back down to 1 at the first time. Literally went up to 4, back down to 1, but then a few gunshots and then literally the threat just escalated.
Rick should have died at the end. Carl should have died 4 times. Like, what the hell? Their bloodline is clearly
It's strong.
impenetrable.
It is. My favourite part was Carl surviving. I've got to say, well, it was literally the first time he died, I thought, oh no, he's actually gone. But then I realised he's got his lucky hat. Gives him a 50% chance, and then he used it once, twice, 3 times. Was it 4 in the
I
end?
think it was the 4th that got him.
I know, wow.
You've got to take the lucky hat just purely because of the comedy value.
You really do.
But no, beautiful crew, well painted, mate, well
Thank you.
played. I think we hedged our way through the walkers at the start, and then when we got stuck into each other, it was really interesting because I really wanted to just barrel like Thomas and Axel in. And as soon as you had all those walkers around Rick, I was like, I've just got to stand here and watch. I've got to cheerlead.
It almost made a barricade.
They really did. And some of the shooting that came next with Dexter with his shotgun and that, just kind of pulling in.
The trank gun was good, wasn't it? The trank gun.
Very, very good. I really like that prison crew. I think as the later crews that came out for the game, they've got a bit more synergy between them.
Yeah.
And the prison crew have always been on our paint table. We were just like, oh, we'll have to do a prison map at some point. But actually now, they're great. I didn't even use the leader ability, which is amazing.
It is. It is. Is it white dice extra actions?
White dice extra actions, and even he's got like Dexter's got an ability in combat where if he wins, I think he does extra damage as well. So there's plenty more to be used there.
Tell you what is interesting, did we have a melee against each other? I don't think we did.
I think Thomas tried to, and then he got
did.
pulled
Oh,
by
he did, he
Walker,
did,
and then
and
he
the
got pulled
Walker
by
came in,
Walker
yeah.
away. So yeah, the Walkers did a lot
Yeah,
of
they
work
did all
in
the
that
fighting,
battle.
really. We did some shooting.
We did a lot of shooting,
Yeah,
actually. But it was really nice to play on the prison map. That was one of the ones we actually used in Conflict last year, and it's nice to kind of have the theme crews and the theme.
I think the theme crews on the prison map just made it a great spectacle, to be perfectly honest.
Any upgrades you're going to make to your crew going forward?
I know what I'm going to be keeping. I'm going to be keeping those leather jackets.
10 points for leather jackets, just ignore all combat.
Yeah.
We were saying afterwards, in some scenarios that are like maybe capture the flag, you could barrel a high priced character forward with that on and just go, Psh, don't care about the damage from
Get what
walkers.
you need and then run back.
Yeah, I think
almost
that is
unscathed.
MVP play. I think for me, the trank gun was definitely a really, really good option. I'll tell you what the best character for me always is, Axel with that jacket.
You did very well, actually.
To limit the freaking out. Keeping him within 6 inches of everyone else is tricky, but he is so phenomenally valuable for that prison crew, so I strongly recommend
If you hadn't had that, it could have been a different game, couldn't it?
Completely. They could have been freaking out, and I mean, having the paper bag as well, really useful. But no, thank you so much for the game today, mate.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you again soon in the next one. Hi guys, thank you very much for watching our content. It means the world to us. If you'd like to see some more videos, they should be over here. And if you'd like to support our channel, keep these lights on. You can find links to our Patreon and merchandise in the description below. See you later.